7 days before my wedding, I discovered that the woman I loved had been living a double life. Her name was Sophie, and for 3 years I believed she was my future. The venue was booked, the invitations were sent, and our families were counting down the days. Then, at alas 11:43 ng gabi, my phone buzzed with an anonymous message. Before you marry her, you deserve the truth. Attached were photos of Sophie kissing another man outside a hotel whose 2 nights earlier. At first, I convinced myself the pictures had to be fake. But curiosity turned into heartbreak when I checked our phone records. Every girl's night, she'd told me about matched hours of calls and messages with the same man. My world collapsed, but I refused to let them see me broken. The next morning, Sophie smiled, kissed my cheek, and asked if I was excited for our wedding. I smiled back and said, I can't wait. That was the moment I decided my revenge wouldn't come through shouting or fighting. It would come through patience. Instead of canceling the wedding, I quietly met with my lawyer. Since I'd paid for almost everything, he legally transferred every refundable payment back into my account. I also changed the honeymoon reservation into a solo trip under my name. Then I contacted the photographer and asked him to prepare one extra surprise slideshow for the reception. Wedding day arrived. Sophie looked happier than ever as she walked down the aisle. Guests smiled, cameras flashed, and everyone believed they were about to witness a perfect love story. When it was time for our vows, I took the microphone. I have something special to show everyone before we continue. The lights dimmed. Instead of childhood memories, the projector displayed the hotel photos, screenshots of messages, and security camera images of Sophie meeting the other man. The room fell completely silent. Sophie turned pale. Her parents stared at her in disbelief. The groom's side of the family looked shocked. The mysterious man sitting in the back quietly stood up and walked out without saying a word. Sophie grabbed my arm and whispered, "Please, don't do this." He gently moved her hand away. "You should have thought about that before you cheated." I placed my wedding ring on the table, thanked every guest for coming, and calmly walked toward the exit. Nobody tried to stop me. 3 months later, I was sitting on a beach in Greece, enjoying the honeymoon that had once been ours. My phone buzzed again. It was Sophie. "I made the biggest mistake of my life. Can we talk?" I smiled, deleted the message without replying, and looked back at the ocean. Some betrayals deserve forgiveness. Others deserve a lesson that lasts forever. That day, I realized revenge wasn't destroying her life. It was refusing to let her destroy mine.